Hey guys, it's Tinker Tailor here today, bringing you another CC build. Now originally this wasn't going to be a CC build, because I had done this. So the previous two builds have been um, one pack or one kit, and base game builds, and I was like, oh, I could do it with like like this one with a couple of the kits, because Fresh Pick is currently doing one with just the kits, and it looks really cool. So maybe I can try doing something like that. Um, and then I started building, so you can see here, like I'm just building. There's no decision on what I am using, what I'm not using. And eventually I do end up picking CC. So yes, this is a CC build, but I'm so glad I did it as a CC build. I think it's so much better. And it is inspired by an image which I don't think I have up anymore, but it's a luxury resort somewhere in America. Um, I'm not even gonna try and guess where because I couldn't even tell you. But yeah, this is where it turned into a CC build. So you can see it didn't take me very long, a handful of minutes, and I decided, yep, no, it's gonna be a CC build. Um, and yeah, so that's kind of what we end up with. And I'm actually really excited for the end of this build. So I haven't finished it yet, but I am like 6 or 7 hours into it. And I'm very happy with how it's turned out so far. I'm not a huge fan of doing, let me think of it, like restaurants, because I find it so difficult to choose things. And you'll see next video, I have such difficulty choosing what to do. Um, Excuse me, I am also kind of losing my voice because of the fact that I did stream. Um, but we're going to ignore that. So, that's fine. Um, but yes, no, I have not finished it yet, but I do feel pretty good about this. I still have another video's worth of content, but I'm probably going to do some um, more video making, I guess, on this topic, because on this video, sorry. Because I've really enjoyed it. I think it was really fun to be able to do a build like this. And so yeah, I'm kind of really happy with the direction it's heading. There's still a long way to go. Um, Also apologies if you just heard the door creak. A little dog just poked, I think it was his nose through the door. They do that a lot. They're not supposed to come into this room because this is where I keep some of the cat food. They figured out how to climb the cat tree, so now I've had to hide it in here with me so that they're not eating it, because it makes them a bit sick. So they always come up to the door of the two dogs and stick their noses through and try and make sure I'm not looking so they can sneak in and have some, but are usually pretty vigilant with it. I also thought I closed the door, but apparently I did not. But anyway, yeah, so what was I saying? This build, yeah, it's gonna be huge. Like it took me 4 hours just to do what happens in this video, and I believe I cut out maybe just under 2 hours worth of it. It's pretty insane. I do use a lot of tool mod. It comes to my rescue. It cut down on so much time. Otherwise, I would have had to individually raise a whole bunch of items. And deletion protection also saved my life a little bit. So I forgot to put it on. In case you don't know, deletion protection basically means when you have it on, you can change the um, like if you're putting on a wallpaper and it's going to delete an item for some random reason, it will prevent that from happening. Um, and so I had to turn that on quite a lot, but it does recommend that you don't have it on for very long. I think it's very heavy on the game and you could crash. So yeah, I try not to have it on too often, but I had to turn it on a lot for this build. Um, and yeah, like I said, I spend the 4 hours just on the outside. I might have put down a few, I don't even think what they're called, like lounge chairs, but I believe that's right at the very end. It's like the last 5 minutes, but it's probably going to be way quicker than 5 minutes for you guys because I've sped it up quite a bit. I also had the opportunity to speed this video up 8 times instead of 6, but I don't want people getting dizzy, so I did it 6 times instead. But yeah, you basically get to watch me have fun with it, I guess, just messing around, trying to figure it out and make it look good, before I move on to furnishing and coloring. I have done some furnishing, so the gym and the restaurant I have put furniture in, but I haven't, I think of the word, I haven't cluttered it. So yeah, it's still a work in progress, but I'm pretty happy with how it's turning out. Now I did end up streaming some of it. I ended up streaming, I think for about 2.5, 3 hours maybe. I'm not entirely sure. The rest of this build, or the rest of what I've done so far. And I'm really happy with how it turned out. I'm really, really starting to find my groove, I feel. Sometimes I get a bit stuck in my head and I'm not sure what I want. I did get a little stuck in my head about the restaurant, but I think I'm going to be happy when I get back to it and have a little look around. But yeah, if you want to see me do this build, I have been doing it on stream. I do stream some other games, so I played Supermarket Simulator the other day. I think I'm going to try and do 2 days a week of Sims and then 1 day a week of variety. And I think the variety at the moment is going to be Supermarket Sim because I'm a little obsessed with it. But until, like, other than that, I will be doing Sims basically, yeah. To try and keep ahead of my schedule. But speaking of schedule, I've actually got 5 shells that I would like to do, and some of them are due pretty soon. Like, I have maybe a week to do them. So I'm gonna try and, oh, I have one that I have a week to do, one that I have 2 or 3, and then one that I have like 2 months to do. So I don't know when the last one's due, but I know it's soon. I'm gonna try and get those shells done as soon as possible, but the videos might go up a little bit later. But that's at least 5 ideas, 5 builds that I can get out. And those builds will be no CC. So if you're worried about me using CC all the time, don't you worry. There will be builds without it. And I'm definitely going to try to be better and do better. In terms of CC and just my average builds. Because I'm kind of getting back into building. Like, when I start building, I'm really enjoying it. But when to get me to open the game, it takes a lot of effort and energy. So I'm kind of in that middle ground of, like, if I'm not near it, I feel burnt out. But once I open it, I feel really good and I want to keep playing. So yeah, I don't know, it's kind of interesting. And I'm hoping that eventually, I think it's mostly just because uni has been super stressful and tiring. And now that I am finished with uni for a little bit, my brain just wants to do nothing. And I'm kind of letting it. Also, these little curtain rods that I'm putting down now, they disappear. So I'm gonna have to put them back right at the end, but I'm absolutely going to forget. So, yeah, if you are watching me stream and I'm getting towards the end of this video, the end of this build, sorry, please remind me to put these back because it looks a lot stable. Like, it looks more realistic with them there. I'm not too mad without them there because I do put something else, as you'll see, I'm working on. I didn't realize I just left. Oh, no, sorry, I meant to leave that on the ground. That little curtain rod, because I was going to see if I could angle it sideways and do sideways one, but I ended up picking this item here, which I don't really know what it is. I end up going around and putting these little sunshade bits everywhere, and I am in love with it. I think it's fantastic. Um, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. I do change the color of the cloth as well because it just seemed very stark and white, and I thought, yeah, why don't we change it up? So they end up being brown, I think. And I do like it a lot better. But there's every possibility that I'll change them up again. But I wanted the color palette of this place to be really, really neutral. I wanted lots of like sandy colors that you'd see in the desert. I really, really enjoyed working on it. And I also really, really liked just adding the pops of green everywhere with the plants. I did try and use a lot of the plants that were actually around in the world so that I wasn't just picking plants out of the randomness that didn't sort of fit. But I'm really, really happy with yeah, like how it's turning out. So definitely let me know your thoughts below on what you feel, if you like it, if you don't, and if you think I should add anything. We've got 3 villas at the moment. I haven't touched them at all. I've added windows and doors, and that is it. Maybe stairs in one of them just to see where I'd put the stairs. And that's really it. So yeah, like I said, if you've got any ideas, let me know down below. The where we're working now, to the left is okay. No, when you go up the stairs where you are now, if you go to the left, that's going to be a gym and a spa. And if you go to the right, where there's no windows or doors at the moment, that is going to be the restaurant. And I put some stairs go down underneath the restaurant to be a like a kitchen area. And then I have a little bathroom for beside the pool and beside the restaurant so that people aren't walking into random villas to use the bathroom. But other than that, I don't really have much added to it. There is some space underneath the pool area, which I'm thinking about maybe making a pool room, which I like a where you'd keep all of the items, like the pool pump and things like that. But I'm not entirely sure if I want to do that because it's already a big build, so I don't know if I want to overdo the I don't want to overdo the build. I want people to still be able to download it. I mean, I know it's got CC in it, and you need the CC to be able to download it, but I don't want to have to make it to a point where people can't download it at all. Yeah, that's the goal. And here you'll see me playing around with the colors for a bit, but I go back and forward between a bunch of different colors, but I do pick the brown in the end. But yeah, anyway, one thing I do want to talk about before I forget, I've written a bunch of things down in my hand to A, not sit here talking and just random gibberish because I've got nothing to talk about, and 2, because I don't want to forget to talk about it. But the A to Z challenge is coming up real soon. It is a 26-week challenge. I had to think there for a second how many letters are in the alphabet. 26-week challenge where week 1 you get the letter A, week 2 you get letter B, and so on and so forth. And you don't have to participate in all the weeks. You could just do one, you could do half of them, you could do every second one. It's the whole goal of it is to just kind of get outside your comfort zone, I guess, and think a little bit about what you are building. So there's no restraints, there's no pack restraints. The only restraint I have is no CC. Because I want this to be a little bit fair on everyone. I don't want people to feel like they can't be a part of it because other people have CC. There's already the disadvantage of console players not having access to things like Toolmod. But last year, a lot of console builders ended up being the fan favorites. So yeah, you can do a room build, you can do a full uh, like a house build, or you can do a CAS. So I'm opening it up to CAS this year. And I'm excited about that. I'm not a CAS creator. I don't like doing CAS. I don't like making sims. Like when my game crashed and I lost everything, I had to obviously start with a new sim, and all I did was just completely randomize them, and that was it. That's what I ended up with. Um, Sometimes I pick their traits, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I randomize them. Like it's really not my thing, but just because it's not my thing doesn't mean I shouldn't open the challenge to CAS creators, because there are some wonderful CAS creators out there. And the same rule with CC applies there, no CC, because I would have to go and download all the CC to be able to show it off, because I do share CC creation. Oh, not so sorry. I share the entries to over on Twitch. I really had to think there for a second. I share it over on Twitch, and I do it in February. So in February, I do the A to Z challenge myself, just builds, and then I also upload. So I upload the build, a YouTube video, a YouTube short. I put it on Instagram, and I also stream on Twitch to share last year's results from the A to Z challenge, and it was a lot. It was a lot of work, and I think I'm gonna start a lot earlier this year. Like I'm thinking of probably starting now, because it's just too much for me. I've got a lot of builds that I need to do this week. Like the A build, I would like to do the shell. I've got to work on this build. So I'm lucky I'm on holidays. So yeah, I'm gonna just work hard on getting these builds done. Which is why I'm thankful I'm doing 2 streams this week, because I'll probably work on this build in that stream, in both of those streams, and then in off screen I will work on the other builds, just because I like to just work on my own sometimes. That's why sometimes when I'm like, I just don't want to stream, I just want to build on my own. That's why sometimes I just haven't streamed. But I'm thinking I just build like, I don't know, an hour every day, then I won't feel like that as much. Like sometimes I'll be like, actually, yeah, I want to stream this time. Yeah, long story short, the A to Z challenge is starting next month. I've got to figure out when I'm actually starting it. I did write it down somewhere, but I have to check that. English, that would help. Actually, I can check it right now. So I'm going to start it on the 6th, which is the 6th for me, or that's when they would be due though. All right, so I'm starting it on the 29th of this month. I'm gonna post the first one, to make sure everything's on time. Okay, cool. That does not stress me out at all. That's fine. I am getting a lot of work done actually today, so I feel like I could get a bunch of that done. I have updated my end screen and my profile picture already for YouTube, and I'm going to upload a new banner. I still have to make that one, but I will do that after this video, because I mean, normally on Sundays I post in the morning, but I think I'm gonna change to being in the afternoon, just because it's a lot easier and I don't have to get up really early to do these things. So I think I'm gonna change to the afternoon, even though I really want to do the morning one. I feel like my Sunday videos will be just whenever on Sunday. If I get it done in the morning, then it'll be the morning time, and if it's done in the afternoon, then it's done in the afternoon. But hopefully I can get far enough ahead with all my builds that I can just stay ahead. Yeah, that's gonna be the goal. I've done pretty well. Normally my videos are about 20 minutes and I've run out of things to say, but I haven't. But I guess I'll kind of run you through the builds that I'm going to be doing in the near future. So Lady has two shells going on, one that's due on the 1st of July, which that's pretty close, and one that actually has no due date, which I'm super excited about. That one I'm probably going to want to start first because it has no due date, but I'm going to do that shell first. And then Witching Mermaid has a shell that is due on the 15th of July, and I feel like I could do that one. I've got a bit more time to do that one for Kitty. And then Honey May Sims has got one that's due soon. I don't know what the date is, but it is on the gallery. So as soon as I find it, I will be adding it to my schedule. And then Fresh Pick has a shell as well, and that is for his 1,000 follower, reaching his 1,000 follower goal over on Twitch. And he ended up doing a 1,000-second stream for that, which was 16 hours and 40 minutes. And that was intense. I was there for pretty much the whole time. I did have to take a nap and I did go out for dinner, but I was there the rest of the time and it was very fun. I got called an old man. Well, no, I got told I sound, but they expected me to sound like an old man, but I don't sound like an old man. Because we jumped on a call on Discord to play Gartic Phone. The one where you draw and then the person's got to type in what it is, and then you draw what that person's typed, and it's kind of like, it's like that whisper game. I can't remember what it's, telephone, where you got to like whisper it to someone, and then they've got to whisper it down the line. But instead of that, it's drawing and then writing what you think the previous person drew, so that the next person can draw what you did, and it's kind of like funny to see how it goes down the line. That was really, really fun. So I might do that on stream one day. Keep an eye out for that. But yeah, Freshie has that one and it's due in August because normally he needs about 2 months to do a shell himself. And he did it in 2 hours instead. So I'm very, he like challenged himself to do it in 2 hours and he did it mostly in 2 hours. I'm very proud of him, and make sure you go check Freshie out because actually some of this build is inspired by him. He's currently doing a Moroccan Riyadh hotel and it's so super cool. And there are things that I really, really like that I wanted to kind of do myself in this build. So the little water fountain feature, that is in between the restaurant and the gym, that was inspired by Freshie. I don't think he's done anything that looks exactly like that, but he did a cool water feature by the pool in his build, and I was like, I kind of want to do something similar to that, but not quite the same, and it looks pretty cool. Like his looks really, really cool, and mine's getting there. I haven't quite finished it yet. But like I said, I'm kind of just adding bits and pieces here, working on the main like furnishing, and then I'll go back and do all the extra fun little bits. So yeah, that's kind of what I did. I was also supposed to cut this bit out of the build, but out of the video, but I did not. Yeah, I go and put these around everywhere because they look so much better than what I was trying to do with the shade bits. So I don't know what they're called, but they're from, I think, the Desert Luxe kit. Like, they don't get me wrong, I like them, but I just like what I've done here better. And I think it's pretty cool. And I definitely think a lot of people are inspiring me to become better builders. So obviously Fresh Pick. Pat is actually the one who inspired me for the landscaping here. That is an amazing landscaper. And it makes me mad with how good she is with it. But she's had thousands of more hours than I have in this game, and it's understandable why she's 1,000 times better. Yeah, if you're ever feeling like you're not good enough or whatever, just remember that there is growth. Like there's time to grow, there's time to get better. Um, a lot of people aren't naturals off the bat. Like I'm not a natural. This is all learnt, and I'm really happy with the progress I'm making. And I definitely put a lot of it up to CC, because it's hard to work with a game with ugly items. I mean, not all of the items in this game are ugly, but they have been in the past, and I'm just glad they're not anymore. Yeah, here you go. You can see me again changing the colors because I just cannot figure out for the life of me what color I want, and I just go with this one. I do cut out changing them all though. There were some things where I was like, I want to show you my thought process and like what I was doing, but once I get into it, I'll just forget like sharing it because it's a lot. Not forget sharing it, but like cut it out. Like the rock pool, I started to show the start of it, like of how I started doing it. That didn't make it. How many times could I say start in that sentence? I started to show it to display my thought process, and I cut the rest of it out because I just thought it's not really worth like showing off all the different rocks that I put because it took me an hour and 20 minutes and it's just not fun. But I do show the landscaping because I know a lot of people struggle with landscaping, and I just wanted to kind of show off how I did it. And if you like it, then cool, now you know how I did it. If you don't like it, well, now you know what not to do. But the landscaping really took all the life out of me. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing at all. And the lighting is now weird, but I kind of don't mind the fact that the lighting is weird. It kind of looks like the dirt has been kicked out a little bit, and it creates a bit of a difference, and I'm not too mad at it. So yeah, the way I landscape though, I will explain that, is that I just grabbed a bunch of different items that I thought would go well in this build. That's the word. I grabbed a bunch of items that I thought would look good in this build, and I kind of just placed them randomly spaced out. Like you can see, I've got 3 different types of cactus, and I don't repeat them all, 4 different types if you include the little circle one. I just kind of smushed them in there and put them there, and okay, there's a space there, and let's just put this over here, and yeah, cool, next one. And it was just filling it in and spacing out the colors. So I only have the purple as my one color, and it was just pretty much space it out so that it's not purple everywhere. And don't leave it all green. So yeah, it's just wherever there's too much color, remove it and put a little bit of green. Wherever there's not enough color, add some more. And I'm feeling like it's getting a little bit better. I definitely have a long way to go still. It does feel very blocky to me still. It does feel like I've kind of just copied and pasted some sections a little bit, but I'm still pretty happy with it. Like I'm not terribly mad. And I do also just repeat the process up here, but I also include trees. That's the word, palm trees, which are the only CC trees that are there. I believe it's also the only CC plants that I have. Like from the this menu. I don't know what it's called. The outside plants. Like there's plenty of indoor plants that I have, decorative plants, but the outdoor ones, not so much. Also, I spend way too long trying to figure this out. it was a nightmare, and I don't know why I made it so hard for myself when it really didn't have to be. But I eventually figured it out in the end, how to fix this a little bit, because I just, for the life of me, could not figure it out. But I do, yeah, don't worry, I do. This game sometimes makes me want to cry because of all the things that are going on, but I think I've just overdone the game a little bit too much, that it freaked out a little bit and didn't know what to do, but figured it out. Because I wanted to have a little, what is this called? I always say that, like, what is this called? And I don't speak another language, I just speak English. So I really should know what these are called. Fountain. I wanted to put this fountain in, but I also still wanted to have that little tree spot. So I just added this little spot at the end, which I'm not entirely sure. Like, it's just a tree spot. I wasn't really. I didn't want to. I didn't want to put all the different plants on it, so I think I ended up deleting the tree from the end, and I think that's why I have it like that. But yeah, it's much better with just this little bit of extra detail. And I think that's what I need to do more, is just spend a little bit more time on this little detail in every section that I go, and then it'll be a much cooler thing, a much cooler build. But anyway, we finally made it to the end. I didn't blab too much, I hope, and I really hope you did enjoy this video and this build. Definitely leave your thoughts, comments, and feedback down below, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, guys.